What's going on, y'all? Thanks for checking in the Khaliis Take. You know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell just so you can get the newest and the bonus content first. But hey, let's just go ahead and jump right in. You know, I'm always reading different sites and everything, and one of the things I noticed, a few sites I was reading here today specifically, you know, I was noticing that there was a few sites talking about the Lakers and are the Lakers a playoff team this upcoming season? Now, that's a big question to me. That's a very big question, and it's probably $1 million question at this point, because I can tell you most people, if anybody out there doesn't know, nobody knows about what the Lakers can be, or will they be a playoff team or not. I mean, based upon, you know, what we know of the Lakers, I would say no, only because of what we saw last year, of the last time we saw them on the floor, the last time they updated their resume as a team, they were not even a play-in tournament team. And that really surprised me. I know it surprised probably a lot of other people as well, because, I mean, let's just face it, when you think about the Lakers, I mean, honestly, it should be almost a lock that they're in the playoffs. It should almost be a lock that they're in every single season, just about. I know there's been times, you know, that they've missed the playoffs before in the past and things like that, but I mean, we just expect them to, because of the nature of the team and how good they've been throughout the years, and how many championships and success that they, or how many championships they accumulated and how much success they've had throughout the years. So, you know, I expect them to be a playoff team every season, but last year I was really shocked, because not only they didn't make it, they didn't even make the play-in tournament, which is really another option of making it into the playoffs. It's almost like a second route, you know what I'm saying, to make it to the playoffs. It gives you a second chance to make it to the playoffs, even though you might not have played that well, you know, during the season. But the Lakers were like 15 games under 500, and that's just totally unacceptable and not going to get you anywhere. And I know LeBron is hating that, because he's so used to winning, and man, went to like 8 or 9 straight NBA finals, so you know he's not used to not at least making the playoffs. I mean, the last time I think he didn't possibly make the playoffs is probably like never in his career. So I mean, this is my point. Like, he's used to winning, and so are the Lakers, and it, you know, and it just didn't happen last year. They just didn't win. They didn't look good. They didn't look like a team they didn't even look like a team last year that could figure it out. You see what I'm saying? At least when a team is struggling, or a team is not playing that well during the season, there are teams where they at least look like they could figure it out at some point. The Lakers didn't even look even remotely close to figuring out what their problem was last season. And, you know, a lot of people are going to say it's Russell Westbrook. Rightfully so. Russell Westbrook wasn't playing remotely close to a top 75 player at all, but at the same time, it wasn't just him. You know, you can't blame one guy when it's a team effort. You know, when I looked at those guys play, they were missing, you know, opportunities to get extra rebounds, hustle, dive for loose balls, you know, all those little intangible small things the Lakers weren't doing, and that's the reason why they weren't winning. They weren't doing the little things that, you know, cause winning basketball. You know, dive for loose balls, you know, as I said, you know, work on your free throws more, you know, show more energy, play more, have more energy on the defensive side of the basketball. I mean, it's a lot of things you can, you know, look at, you know, with the Lakers last year and really see why they really didn't, you know, pan out the way a lot of people thought they would, you know, because like I said, effort goes a long way, you know, and a lot of people don't really speak on that. But I mean, when you don't have the effort or the extra energy, or put forth the extra fortitude to go out there and play like every game is your last, then, you know, a lot of times that results in losses that you can't make up for, because when you lose a game, you can't really make up for it. You see what I'm saying? Or you can't make up for it. There's no really to it. You can't make up for a game that you lost, because you can't go back and change that loss. It's just on your record. It is what it is. And, you know, I've always agreed with the notion you are what your record is. And that's just the way it is. So the Lakers were 10, 15 games under 500, and that's the best basketball they could play. Apparently at that time last season, because they didn't give us anything else to, you know, hang our hats on to say, oh, this team is going to pick it up at some point. because listening to a lot of the media members and things like that talk about, oh yeah, if Anthony Davis is healthy, this and that, the Lakers will be better. But I don't really believe that statement. Anthony Davis is not the end all be all for any team winning a championship. I don't believe. I'll say this, at least not at this point he's not. Maybe he was before, but not at this point, because he can't seem to stay healthy enough to even make them a contender or even make them a playoff team. So if you're talking about the Lakers trying to be a championship team and it's all based on Anthony Davis's shoulders, that's a very big no to me, because Anthony Davis is not trustable in regards to being reliable on the floor with his health issues. And on top of that, there's times where Anthony Davis doesn't even play aggressive enough. Even when he is healthy, he doesn't play like an Embiid. He doesn't play with that aggression like, he's the best player, or he doesn't play like a Giannis or somebody like that. He doesn't play with that aggression. So to me, that knocks him down in regards to, the tier of the superstar status at times, because it's like at times we see it, at times we don't. So it's like, with Anthony Davis, it's a lot of ifs, what ifs, trickery, and all that type stuff with Anthony Davis. You don't have a solid read on Anthony Davis. You see what I'm saying? You just kind of hope that he plays up to the potential that he has and the greatness that's in him, but you have to, subside that with injuries and or the fact that he just might not play that aggressively. So, with all that being said, it's like, where do you go with Anthony Davis? You want to make him the number one guy for the Lakers, but I don't know if that's the right thing to do, because without LeBron, they can't go that far. And even if LeBron's not playing to that high level that he usually plays with, like he did last year, you still have better chances with LeBron not playing at a high level as long as he's on the floor more than you do with Anthony Davis on the floor, if you ask me. Based upon what I saw last year. So, to me, to say this team, to ask, is this team a playoff team? It's to me, based upon what I saw last year, I would say no, because they got the same roster for the most part. They got a couple of new young pieces in there that I think that can help them, but how much they can help them, I don't know, because this team has expectations to do bigger things really than just the playoffs. It's just, it's just been lowered. The standard's been lowered because of how bad the Lakers played last year. And, you don't want to expect too much out of them, because you did that last year and you were hopeless after you saw their ending record or at the end of the season, and they didn't even make the play-in tournament. So, with that being said, it's a lot that we have to look into with this team. And it's hard to really, calculate or figure out whether they're a playoff team or not, because on paper I would say they are on paper, because they got 3 top 75 players, and when you got that much firepower on your team, you should find a way to figure out to at least make the playoffs. Honestly, bare minimum, at least make the second round of playoffs, if you ask me. But hey, that's my opinion. That's not fact, because if it was fact, then you would have saw the Lakers make the first or second round of playoffs last year, and they ain't even make the tournament. So, like I said, it's a big if with the Lakers, and I'm tired of going around in circles with this team. I'm just going to wait and see, what product they put out on the floor next year in regards to who's out there, who's in the starting lineup, how Darvin Ham is going to, manipulate his lineups and, get the best out of players and see if he can do that. And I'm just going to wait and see what the outcome is, because as of right now, my answer is no. But it could change, of course, based upon what I see coming from them next season, and if they made any improvements or not. And if they did, that'll better their chance of going. If they didn't, then there might be another reenactment of what happened last year. But hey, that's my take on everything. Leave any comments in the comment section. Check out my other videos if you haven't. And hey, Khaliis out.